Moonlight peeks out from behind gray clouds as a figure walks underneath the street lamps. Fresh footprints are left in the dusting on the sidewalk as it hurries after a young woman walking not far ahead. The wind blows through naked tree branches, causing the woman to shiver. She wraps her coat tighter around her torso as she quickens her pace. Metal bells begin to jingle in the distance. The figure hides behind a tree when the woman glances over her shoulder to make sure that she isn't being followed. The figure steps out from behind the tree as the woman continues to walk down the sidewalk. She takes larger strides in hopes of getting to her house quicker. Snow begins to fall heavier upon the ground as the woman hurries further into the neighborhood that she has entered. The figure, not far behind her, cuts through some bushes, causing her to jump. She moves forward and up the stairs of a darkened porch. She fumbles around the bottom of her purse for the keys. After a few moments, she is able to hear the jingling when her fingers brush the cold metal keyring. She pulls them out of her purse, hastily searches for the one that fits perfectly into the doorknob before turning the key to the left and pushing the front door open. She kicks the door closed behind her and locks the deadbolt, hoping like hell that whatever was following her has now left. The woman places her purse upon the end table by the front door. She hangs her keys on the hook sticking out of the wall and kicks off her shoes. She sorts through the mail that was lying on the end table as she walks through her hallway, flicking the light switches upward, causing the house to become illuminated in brilliant Christmas lights. The fireplace was already on, which is strange because she remembers turning it off before she left earlier in the evening. The beautiful decorations around the living room bring a smile to her lips, as the scene reminds her of all the happy holidays that she had while growing up. The woman, ready to relax, begins to strip out of her clothes while walking up the staircase, down the hallway, and into the last door on the left. She tosses her clothes into the hamper upon walking into the room. She turns a light switch on, only to see an unknown man standing in the middle of her bedroom. She takes a few steps backward before turning around and running back down the staircase. The woman is able to make it into the living room and to the phone sitting on the coffee table before a hand wraps around her throat and pulls her against a cushion-like, warm surface. The man releases his grip on the woman as he pushes her to the ground. The man kneels down whilst taking a knife out of the back pocket of his jeans. He presses the cold tip of the blade against the woman's throat as she gasps for air. The blade is drawn across the woman's throat, causing her to gurgle from the blood now pooling in her mouth. Her eyes widen when the man plunges the knife into her stomach and forces the blade upward. The sound of flesh ripping echoes throughout the small area. The man places his gloved hand within the woman's stomach cavity, his fingers sliding around her warm intestines before pulling them out and exposing them to the warmth of the fireplace. The man drops the bloody mess upon the ground beside the woman's body and licks the liquid off of his hand before leaning down and sticking his face within the woman's innards. His teeth clamp down on the intestines, tearing a piece off while sadistically smiling to himself. The woman's body lay there, her eyes staring up at the ceiling as the burning wood within the fireplace crackles among the sounds of chewing. The silhouette of the man dances on the walls of the living room as the neighbor from across the street stares into the window with the expression of pure terror plastered to her face. The man lifts his head up, his eyes wide from the euphoric rush he is feeling coursing through his body. This will last me until next Christmas, the man laughs.